heard a statement last night, and it really rang true with me. And the statement went something like, if we've learned anything from history, we've learned that we never learn from history. And I think that's so true relative to today's stock market. It's a down stock market. Everybody will admit this is a down stock market, and it's probably going to go further down. But the reality is this is when you make money in the stock market, because this is when undervalued stocks appear that you can invest in and make a substantial amount of money, because you're reacting counter to the fear that has overtaken the market. We're fearing inflation. We're fearing increasing interest rates. We're fearing a war. That fear creates opportunity. I think the other statement, what is it? When there's blood in the streets, that's the time to buy. Well, if you look out in the streets, you're going to see there's some blood. So what I've done is to try to find other opportunities. Other opportunities are other ways to invest that the average investor, the investor of 2020 and 2021, just had no idea about, but now they are presenting opportunities as well. And this is the private equity arena. So I've found a company called Dizraptor. I've had a number of conversations with their executives as to how can I gain some knowledge about how you do business and how I can make that available to my followers, my tribe, my subscribers. And if you want to be a subscriber, now is the time to subscribe, because this is what I try to do. I try to find you new opportunities as I'm actually trying to find myself new opportunities. And then I want to share it with you. Why do I want to share it with you? Because no one shared it with me. I'm 76 and 3/4 years old. I'm a retired financial advisor. I ran one of the largest financial planning firms within the 10,000 advisor cadre of Ameriprise, and I sold it back in 2005. And now, for reasons I can explain to you at some time in the future, I've decided I need to share my knowledge with the younger generation and anybody who is interested. And I have found a way into private equity. What does that mean? Pre-IPO. This is where the big bucks go when they want to make big money, because this is when the new idea, the next big thing is in development by some smart group of people who need money to take it the next step. And big money steps in and says, for a price, ownership, we will help you. Okay? So that's what I want to talk to you about today. I actually want to share with you a video that the CEO of Dizraptor made for me to help me show you in more depth what private equity and how to invest in private equity is possible. Now, we need to get something understood, though. This is not financial advice. I am not advising you to do anything. I am here to educate you. And I've educated myself by doing some research, by contacting some people, and now I want to educate you. But let's get this disclaimer out of the way.
Best of Us Investors presents Carrie Griegmeyer.
Dizraptor has an app. Here is a picture of the app. It'll work on your phone. And what it does is it gives you access to the companies that they have gathered where they have shares available for you. Now, why would you want to do that? Because you're getting beat up in the current market. We've experienced the third largest decline ever in the NASDAQ market. While it's not as bad as 2008, the NASDAQ's actually down 28% since November. 61% of software and fintech companies are down to below the prices of pre-pandemic. 1/3 of them are below COVID lows. So we're experiencing some tough times, and this is when opportunities present themselves. How do private companies then differ or perform differently from the NASDAQ, the Dow, and the S&P 500? Well, first of all, they don't have the volatility because they are not on the open market. They're actually traded on a secondary market. And what you've got to know, in good times, when the money is flowing into these private equity companies, they are basically the money is in exchange for shares. There is a secondary market for those shares, and that is to say, if I'm an employee of SpaceX, okay, let's use them as an example. They are one of the companies that you can access through Dizraptor. If I'm an employee of SpaceX and times are good and gasoline prices are low and my mortgage payment is low or my rent is low, but now they are up, I might want to liquidate some of my SpaceX shares to help me out through some tough times. Well, how would I do that? I would go to the secondary market and I would put them up for sale. Who might buy them? Dizraptor might buy them. Okay? So Dizraptor buys them, holds them, and then makes them available to you. So you're buying through the secondary market. You are not going to see this available at your brokerage, whether it be Ameritrade or Schwab or E-Trade or even Robinhood or Woo or Moo, whatever. They're not going to be there. But through Dizraptor, you can have access. Now, the other thing I like what Dizraptor does is they will actually do the research and then create a very well-produced video on the company. So you can learn about it, and then you can go to sources such as Seeking Alpha and do some more in-depth research, or you might go to stock cards. And you do your own research on top of their research. Their function is to introduce you to what's available. Again, I say that it's wise to follow the smart money. And I'm seeing, and we're seeing, more and more activity in this secondary market by institutions. They have the power, the manpower to do in-depth research. So again, this is another avenue of following the smart money. I mentioned SpaceX. Are they having success? Well, SpaceX raised $1.5 billion in its recent funding offer, bringing its total valuation to $125 billion. Do you have access to that through your current broker? No, you do not. But you do have access to it if you go to Dizraptor's app, set up an account, and then do your research, and they can make those shares available to you through the secondary market. As I said, this secondary market is really a blessing to you because, again, as I described, employees, vendors who have picked up shares are now under pressure because of inflation, because of higher interest rates, and so there are some bargains available in this private market that weren't available a year ago. So to help you understand this better, I spoke to the CEO and I asked if he would make a video to explain how he got into it and what he's learned over his history in the market that you could learn from. I'm going to show you just a brief clip of Dimitri's video that he made for me, and then I'm going to give you in the description a link to the full video that Dimitri made that takes you through truly his history in this market and what he's learned. I think this is fantastic.
I've invested in private companies on pre-IPO in mid-stage for 5 years. There is 41 companies in my portfolio with profits and losses. What have I learned from investing in them? 5 years, 41 companies, 9 exits, 3 negative and 6 positive exits, 32 open position, 14 increased by 10% and some by hundreds, and 18 insignificantly changed. I want to go through all the points, tell you about the most interesting trades from my pre-IPO portfolio, and give you some tips on each of these points. It took me about 5 years and almost 10 more years of investing in private companies, crypto, and other things. Okay, let's go. Timing. I've been investing in pre-IPOs for a little over 5 years. All that time, shares are coming into my portfolio and going from it. My team and I think it's okay for pre-IPO companies to go public in 1 to 3 years. After we bought it, of course. Some deals close faster, some take longer. So, if you decide to invest in pre-IPO, build your portfolio expectations for at least 3 years. The number of stocks in the portfolio. I've had 41 companies in my portfolio. Is it a lot or not enough?
That's Dmitry. He's the CEO of Dizraptor. He was kind enough to share his past history, and I would encourage you to go into the description and follow through and see the rest of that video. Then I want you to go to the following link, and that's going to take you to Dizraptor's YouTube channel and share with you an example of the in-depth research that they have done on a CRISPR company, trying to help you become a better investor. They're taking you beyond what the normal public does and saying, okay, look at this. See if it's right for you, if it fits your goals and your objectives, and if you're comfortable for it. Am I suggesting that you sell all your holdings in Apple and Google and Amazon and buy into private equity? No, I am not. But what I also know is the potential for gain is much greater over in the private equity, but I also recognize the potential for loss is much greater as well because they aren't proven. They have excellent ideas. They are looking into the future, and you need to do your due diligence and dig as deep as you can using the tools that you have available to make a better decision. I'm going to talk more about this in the future. I'm going to dig deeper into it, and I'm going to share my knowledge with you. This is a group that has come to me and said, how can we help you, Carrie? How can we help you help your clients, your subscribers, your viewers make better investment decisions? So I'm bringing them in as part of my toolbox. Go to the description, follow this through, and I think you'll find a way to make some better investment decisions. All right, talk to you again tomorrow.